Hi! So, you want to know how to memorize a bunch of vocabulary in one day. You've come to the right place, my friend. Today I had a Russian test, and I looked at the vocab list, and I realized I didn't know any of it. It was about 30 to 40 words, 30-something words, right? And why did I not memorize it during the weeks we've been studying it? Because it sounded like work and effort, and it wasn't, I had other things to do. So I look at this list of words, what can I do? I have a few options. Rote memorization is one of them. It's a bad option. It's not going to help you at all. The thing is, you can memorize it really short term, but it won't stick in your long memory and it won't be helpful, and there's no point in doing it. If you wanted to do rote memorization, here's how I would do it. List of 40 words, right? Memorize the first word, memorize the second word, go back to the first word, memorize the third word, go back to the first two words, memorize the fourth word, go back to the first three words. And repeat, repeat, repeat. Bad idea. It won't stick in your long-term memory. So it'll be good for a test. That's what I would do if I had 5 minutes to study. If I have a few hours to study, I would do the method I actually did. So I'm going to take you through that right now.
First thing I did, I wrote down all of the words that I needed to know. I kind of eliminated words that I already knew or that sounded really close to English words because they came from either English, French roots, something like that. So, these you can tell, yupka, tufli, shapka, right? None of these really sound like English words at all.
So for the furniture words that I didn't know, and for some of the words like things that you would find in a backpack, I have shown kind of a disjointed method where I just make associations with each individual word.
So here's what I did. I drew pictures based on an association. This word is kresla. It means an armchair. So I drew an armchair, and at the crest of the armchair, I wrote kresla. Crest, kresla. Usually having just the first kind of sound of the two things associates it well enough for me that I remember the rest of the word by the association. Tumbochka. Okay, this is a dresser or a nightstand, not a dresser, a nightstand. But what I imagined was like this urn with the ashes. Now, tomb, that's where I get the tomb from, right? The ashes. So I imagine someone's putting them in the nightstand, but this is not a very good tomb. It's a botched tomb. So it's a tumbochka, okay? That's how I remember it. Okay, this one is a longer word. Radio budilnik. Okay. This one was a little bit easier for me. So radio, that sounds like radio. That's obvious. Budil, that means wake up. I kind of split this up into the meanings. And nik is kind of like a suffix that you use at the end of Russian words to mean machine. And I already knew that, so that wasn't a problem for me. Budil means kind of wake up machine, right? So I thought, how am I going to remember this? So I drew a little picture here to kind of make this section a memory for me. So I imagine this guy needs to wake up, so he makes a deal with a ghost who says boo and wakes him up. So that's how I remember budil. Padarak means gift. So this gift is a padded rock. The rock is padded inside. Padarak. Okay, this is for paper. Umaga. So I have a piece of paper here. There's a ghost on it and a magnet. Bumaga. pen is ruczka. So I drew a little roach, and he has a pen on his back. Ruczka. Okay, and this is like a notepad, block note. So I just had like notes in a block, right? You see sometimes the stack of notes that's looks like a block, so block notes.
So as you can see, if you take the time to draw some pictures, make some associations, it will stick in your long-term memory. The act of drawing makes it much more concrete. Making associations, telling a story, that is how you learn vocabulary. I'm going to show you what I did when it came to the clothing. I did the same kind of method, but I grouped everything together a little bit more.
This vocabulary is all of the clothing items that I had to learn today. So what I did, and the reason there are pluses here, is because I actually started with little minus tick marks. So I put little tick marks next to everything that would be a complete outfit. And then once I incorporated it into my drawing, I put the little plus tick marks to show that I had done that one already. Here is the first completed outfit, and I've drawn little pictures to help me remember some of the associations I made. For example, he has gloves on. Perчатки. Okay, he has a pair of gloves. He's using them to chat on his phone. And a lot of things end in ki. That's not really hard for me to remember. Perчатки. If you wanted to, you could associate a key somehow, but it's not really necessary. Rubашka. The way that I remembered this is because this person's name is Ruben. I knew someone named Ruben, and he liked to wear dress shirts. So the word for dress shirt is rubашki, or rubashka, sorry. It's not plural, it's singular. Rubashka. Okay. For example, I have galstuk for tie. The way I associate this is I had a tie, but the gals took it, so galstuk. This one for dress pants, brioche. I imagine that he spilled brioche, some like crumbs of brioche on his pants. Brioche. Some of them get really weird, right? So belt is remen. So I picture Remy the mouse from Pixar chewing on men's belts. Remen, right? It's the same for all of these. I make certain associations. These ones are kind of disjointed. Kofta, right? This is a cardigan, but I imagine someone spilled coffee on it. Kofta.
Often the weirder or the more obscene you can make the association, the better it will stick in your mind. I'm not sharing any kind of obscene associations just for the sake of sparing anyone's delicate sensibilities, but that is the kind of thing that sticks better in your brain.
Here are some more outfits. Right, a short kind of coat thing is called a kurtka, right? I remember that from the word kurt, which means short. If you're being short with someone, it's kurt. That's where that word is from. So that's an easy one for me. Yubka. I imagine this person got the skirt off YouTube, or they saw it on YouTube, and it's just kind of a shortening of YouTube. Yubka. Again, the ending ka is very normal, very common, so that's easy for me to remember. Platya. Platinum dress, yeah. There, right. And shopka, right. I put a little price tag because he just shopped for this beanie, right. Again, you can make all kinds of crazy associations, whatever helps you remember it.
This method might seem obvious, it might seem mundane, it might seem like effort, but take it from someone who hates effort. If you put this much effort into it, if you actually try making these pictures, writing these words, whatever, it'll go really well for you. Sometimes I don't actually end up writing pictures, I just make really strong associations in my mind, and that's how I also remember things. But it's, I think, really important when you're starting out, or if you're really trying to memorize a very specific list, that you do this method. It's very helpful. The more you recall it, the more you remember it. It's stored in your long-term memory after a while. You don't have to use any of the kind of visual cues, you just sort of remember it as it goes. There are other methods, this is just one that I find really effective. Thank you for listening, hope it helps. I aced that test, by the way. I knew all of it. And before I did the test, I went through everything in my head and I named everything out loud because I had remembered and retained all of it.